Hi, Queen. Welcome back to the Ghislain Maiden podcast, your home of feminine leadership, where we bridge feminine wisdom, spiritual magic into really practical strategy so that you can master the art of manifestation and create the life, the business, and the influence that your soul came here to create. In today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down what does it mean to be a feminine woman. Many of you desire to be more feminine, to be the fiercely embodied feminine woman. But are you actually prepared to do what it takes? Because the feminine woman isn't the path of convenience. The feminine woman isn't the good girl who sits in the corner, who simply says, yes, no, thank you very much, sir. The feminine woman is deeply inconvenient. She is not palatable. She is an absolute force of fucking nature. And that is a path that is not convenient to walk. And I share this as someone who is devoted to being a feminine woman. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that to be feminine is to simply be soft, to be nurturing, to be loving, to be the yes woman, the unbothered woman, to simply comply to whatever is dealt our way. And this actually couldn't be further from the truth. To walk the path of the feminine woman is one of the most courageous things that a woman can do, because it is not a path of ease. It is a path to absolute fucking devotion of what the truth of the moment is and to your human experience, to showing up for the fullness and being devoted to the fullness of your fucking human experience. It is not simply this meek, palatable little nice girl who simply sits in the corner and just fucking accepts whatever life is thrown at her. The most courageously feminine women I know are fierce. They are unapologetic. And when something is out of alignment with who they know they are here to be, make sure they will fucking blow it all up, because to live out of alignment is to live a lie. And to a feminine heart, that is a sacrifice that is too high to bear. You see, a feminine woman is unafraid. She is a force of nature because she understands that she is an extension of nature herself, meaning that her body has sacred cycles and rhythms. Now, meaning that she doesn't fucking hustle when her body tells her that she needs rest, when her body is screaming for restoration. The feminine woman doesn't force, because she knows that rest is a superpower. And then when she honors her slower cycles, her cycles when she's being called into more quieter, more internal, more restorative states, that they are the very thing that allows her to be in her full force and power and creative potential when she moves into that season. And to live like that is to live in a rebellious way, because society, capitalism, patriarchy, the church will have you believing that you must always be on. And a feminine woman knows that she's not here to always be on. She knows that she's not here to self-sacrifice, to perform, to betray herself for the sake of others. You see, a feminine woman is unafraid to have a challenging conversation. She's unafraid of boundaries, of putting herself first. And this act alone is a rebellion to the conditioning that makes you believe that to be feminine is to self-fucking sacrifice. Hello, we've had centuries of women who have done that. And that is not the feminine way. That is a conditioning of the patriarchy, that the woman must be the good girl, that the woman must sacrifice, that the woman must be the one whose needs are the lowest priority. And it doesn't really serve anybody, Because what it leads to is a path of exhaustion, a path of women who are fucking disempowered because they've been on these constant cycles that aren't in alignment with their natural rhythms. You see, to be a feminine woman is to walk a path of inconvenience. Today, I had plans for what I was going to do for the day. I planned on working on something that I'm working on in the morning and then coming down and sitting here to do this podcast. And when I checked in after I'd done my workflow of what my body, what my feminine needed, it wasn't for Venus. She wanted to go for a swim in the middle of the day. It's raining here where I am. I knew for me to show up here, for me to open up my pathways, for me to translate and channel the wisdom that needs to come through in this message for you, that I had to walk that inconvenient path that wasn't what my mind had planned for the day or how I was going to prepare for this podcast, but it was exactly what me being in alignment with my feminine need. And as soon as I jumped into that water, as soon as I was able to take a step back from the doing of my day, the messages that wanted to come through became so fucking clear. And this is the thing about the feminine, is that it's always changing. It's always evolving. What you need today will be very different to what you need tomorrow or what you needed yesterday. And that can be really inconvenient if you're a high achieving woman who lacks structure, who feels safe when she knows what's going to happen to her, when she knows the lay of her land. But what we need to understand about the feminine is she's always changing. So to live and be in an embodiment of your feminine is to understand and embody your perpetual states of change. This is what we need to understand when we're starting to lead from the feminine. And let's really start to deconstruct this bullshit narrative that a feminine woman is simply soft, loving, and nurturing. And yes, she is all of those things. But that is simply one fucking expression of a feminine woman. And it doesn't cover the whole spectrum and the rest of the full force that a fully feminine woman is. Because a fully feminine woman is devoted to her entire experience, to her cycles, to her rage, to her emotions. So sometimes a feminine woman is not fucking nice and loving if you have crossed her. She will open up the gates of fury on you. Do not fucking, and that me included, if you've crossed me, I will let you know. I am unafraid to have a difficult conversation, and I don't care who you are. If that person has crossed a boundary that I have. I do this all the time with my friends, my family, with my clients, because as a feminine woman, I am unafraid of my shadowy parts. Now, let's talk about if you want to become that feminine woman who's embodied, who's sensual, who oozes magnetism, who walks into a room and whose presence is felt because you can just feel that she has that fucking aliveness about her. If you truly want to become that woman, then you also have to own the shadow parts of yourself, because you cannot experience your ability to speak clearly, to command presence. You cannot experience your full erotic nature if you are disconnected from your body. If you're holding shame and believing that your body in all her shapes and forms isn't fucking good enough, you are never going to be able to ooze sensuality, because a truly embodied woman is devoted to her body in her fullness, knowing that a feminine woman isn't the stick figure that we see. It's not necessarily the Kim Kardashians of the world with the ass implants. A fully embodied woman is devoted to her body because she understands that her body is the sacred vessel, the conduit between her connection to the wisdom of the earth and the wisdom of the cosmos. It is your channel, your home of your soul. She understands that her body is deeply sacred and she is devoted to the cycles of her body. She's devoted to the size, the different seasons of her body. She's not trying to put herself in a fucking box of what femininity is or what spirituality is. She honors her truth, knowing that her truth is changing. I see so many women, I've worked with so many women who were dying to be erotic, who were dying to experience a fucking orgasm. But you can't experience an orgasm when you're judging your body, when you feel so deeply uncomfortable in who you are, that you are disembodied from yourself. No way can you allow your body to experience the pure ecstasy that is always available to you if you are rejecting your body. Now, and this is one of the problems with spirituality, is spiritual practices, a lot of them, because they have been taught by men, teach you that you need to go outside of yourself. You need to go outside of the body. And this is not how a woman works with her spiritual practices. When a woman works with her spiritual practices, she understands that the body is the channel, that the body is the way that she communicates with the divine. And because she understands that her body is the pathway to communicate to the divine, it is the body that is worshipped, not the fucking temples or the churches or the priests or anything outside of herself. She knows that it is her body that is truly fucking sacred, not the things that you have been taught to believe. And the reason you have been taught to believe this is because society, the church, patriarchy, they have wanted to condition you and separate you from the sacredness of who you truly are as a feminine woman, as a force of nature. And I just want you to allow that to set in. You see, if you want to be a woman who's fierce, who speaks unapologetically, who's not afraid to have a difficult conversation, who's fierce in her boundaries and the standard for her fucking life, guess what? You have to own your fear. You have to allow yourself to feel your grief, your rage, your anger, because it's only in allowing yourself to experience your fear, your grief, your rage, your anger, that you open up your body, your field, your nervous system to be able to hold the other end of that. So the other end of the spectrum, which is unapologetic confidence, which is empowerment, which is unwavering fucking trust. But you will never do that if you cannot go to the opposite end of the emotion. You see, to truly be a feminine woman is to understand that your bliss, your ecstasy, your pleasure, your turn on is sacred. And so's your fucking anger. So's your grief. So's your rage. So's your heartache. And the fact is that it's not ignoring those parts of yourselves. It's being devoted to those parts of yourselves that truly allows you to own more of the potential, more of the power that is there for you. And that is truly how you become a feminine woman. And it's not convenient, because at each and every moment, it's going to require you to let go of the plan, to let go of what you think you need, to what you think the truth of the moment is, and actually drop down into your body and honor what actually is, to honor the wisdom of your body, to honor the needs of your body, to honor the experience and the expression of your body. That is the path to being a fully feminine woman. That is the pathway to your eroticism. That is the pathway to your pleasure. That is the pathway to the kind of leadership that you desire. That's actually your pathway to fucking manifest. It's not being all like, oh, yeah, positive fucking affirmations and high vibe. Nah, it's your embodiment and your ability to actually go into your shadow and to hold both your shadow and your light, and to integrate that, and to know that your body is the vessel that gets to fucking experience it all. And the more you actually go into your shadow, your limitations, your fears, the more you integrate that, and the more you open up the energetic space within the particles and the molecular structure of your body to actually be able to manifest, to actually become fucking magnetic for the things that you desire. And the reason that this is so hard, and one of the biggest reasons it's so hard, is because it's going to require you to deprogram the exact way that you've been taught to live, lead, and love. And that is deeply uncomfortable. It is deeply inconvenient. And it is why the feminine woman is a courageous woman, because it is a path that is not chosen by many, because it is going to force you to live in absolute integrity and alignment. And it is so much easier for most of you to simply ignore, to simply self-sacrifice, to live a half-expressed life, and to allow actually your eroticism, your fucking aliveness, to die, than to truly lead from alignment. But when you do, when you allow yourself to lead in alignment to your cycles, when you honor your rage and your shadow as much as you honor your light, and know that your ability to experience the more darker, the more painful emotions is actually the pathway for you to hold more of your power, for you to feel more of your aliveness, to you to channel more of the frequency of your soul and become more magnetic for the aligned clients, the opportunities, the abundance you desire. That's when you actually start feeling the way that your soul, that your heart is dying to feel. And this is exactly why I've created a variety of different practices for you to start to walk the inconvenient path, because it is the path of courage, because it is the path of women who will lead. Because for you to lead, for you to become the embodied woman, is going to require you to allow everything that is not in alignment with that right now to die. That means the relationships, the friendships, the habits, the beliefs, the ways of being that aren't serving you, they cannot come with you. And so if you're a woman who's truly ready to start walking the courageous path of the feminine, check out the show notes below. I've got embodiment practices that are going to allow you to drop down into your grief, your anger, your sadness, and actually allow yourself to fucking feel them in their fullest, so you can move them through you, release it, and then hold more of your power, your confidence, your eroticism, your magnetism. I've got practices to activate your womb so you can actually anchor into the power of your body, because your power is not going to come from outside of you. That belief in those spiritual narratives will constantly have you searching outside of yourself for the thing that actually lives within you. Because your power, your confidence, your purpose, your visionary leadership status, it's not going to come from outside of you. It only comes from within you. And anyone that tells you otherwise, I don't give a fuck who they are or what spiritual teacher they are. They are lying, and they are only going to further disconnect you from your own sense of power. And if you're a woman who's really ready to take action, doors are open to the Consciousness Collective. This is an exclusive community of spiritual women and leaders who really want to start to understand the feminine art, the practices of manifestation, of living in alignment with your body, to create the success, the influence, and the impact that you desire. So if you're really ready to quantum leap to become that woman who's unrecognizable from who you are right now, who's ready to stop fucking asking for permission and start owning who she is, I highly recommend you get into the Consciousness Collective. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.